Peace be unto you. My topic today is entitled Jesus and the Truth About Sin. And my text is taken from Mark chapter 7, verses 14 to 23. Many today have the wrong view of the nature of sin, just like the Pharisees in the Bible. In our passage, what Jesus said was the true source of defilement. What you see manifest on the outside is what the inside already is. Jesus confronted the Pharisees often as an opportunity to teach spiritual truth to the masses by a parable, and then interpret that truth in private with his disciples. Notice three things about sin with me. First, confronting a defective view of sin, verses 14 to 16. Our problem with sin is not caused by our environment, but they are caused by what is already residing within each human heart. When you look deeply into the human heart, what you find is not very pretty. In its natural state, it produces all kinds of wicked schemes. And every one of us is born sinners by nature and by choice. The belief of our world is that people are basically good at heart, but because of their bad environment or their lack of education, their heart can become corrupted. But the Bible teaches just the opposite. The Bible teaches our hearts are ugly. The Bible says in Jeremiah 17:9, the heart is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked. Who can know it? Every man carries within him a fountain of wickedness, and we need no bad company to teach us and no devil to tempt us to run into sin. We have within us the beginning of every sin under heaven. Secondly, clearing up the nature of sin, verses 17 to 23. Jesus felt that it was important to correct the misconception about the nature of sin because they, the Pharisees, felt that sin was largely an outward thing. Jesus wanted them to understand that sin was a deeper problem than just doing the right things outwardly. In fact, man's idea of sin and God's idea of sin are diametrically different. Man says that sin is an accident. God says it is a choice. Man says that sin is a weakness. God says that it is wickedness. Man says that sin is not a big deal. God says that it is a heartbreak. Jesus presents us with three characteristics of human sin. One, sin is primarily a spiritual matter rather than a physical one. Two, sin is an internal matter as well as an external matter. Sin originates in the heart. And three, sin is entertained as a possibility before it ever becomes a reality. It is out of evil thinking that evil actions result. We all can commit any of these sins listed in the text, but because of the grace of God. If you believe in anything else, you are deceiving yourselves. Thirdly, changing the outcome of sin. We have been told that the change that God desires in our lives does not come about by outward adherence to a list of rules and regulations. Rules are obviously necessary in life, yet rules do not produce a change in the heart. So, what is the solution? What do we do about our hearts? A radical change in the human heart is what is needed. Education and culture will not achieve it. Social reform will not bring it into being. There is only one answer: regeneration. John 3:3. This is affected by placing our faith and trust in Jesus Christ. The death of Jesus on the cross was the remedy for our sin problem. 1 John 1:12. You need a new heart, and Jesus promises it to all those who turn to him in faith.